It all started at the age of 3. My 2 older brothers, mother and me, came walking down the stairs into the hall, and there it was, a picture of Barney drawn on the wall. It definitely evoked emotion like no other, bliss in me, glistening in my brothers, but mostly rage in my mother. She stared at us, answers she demanded, until finally, my oldest brother, Jonathan, was reprimanded. A little while later, I was pushing 4, and my mom came pushing through my door, and I was caught purple-handed, drawing that same rendition of Barney that she had seen before. She just couldn't believe it was me, a young rebel artist at the age of 3, and yet, this is where it starts, my diabolical journey in public art. So, my name is Janeva, like the convention, but spelled unconventionally Tyree, and my mission as a public artist is to create art that curates conversation, connection, creativity, and community. I often joke that I was born in Washington, D.C. with a paintbrush in my hand, but this is not a joke. I am the youngest of 8 siblings and the least funded. I am a graduate of Savannah College of Art and Design. I'm a muralist, a sculptor, an artist, a published artist, a public artist, an evoker of art using emotions. And now I'm officially a TEDx speaker on the importance of art in community spaces. So, where does it all start? My mission by the end of this speech is to convince you and give you more knowledge on art's impact on creating culture and cultivating innovation in spaces. Art has the ability to link memory to locations, therefore creating identities for site-specific spaces. The classroom is one of our first introductions to public art. You may remember what your teachers had on the floors, walls, or desk. There is a reason why teachers decorate their classrooms, and it's to set students up for success. Classroom decorations generally create a more engaging and welcoming atmosphere. An example of that is I had some of my students create a 1,000 cranes art installation as their first project. They were to create a crane, and in it, they were to write their goal for the year as a physical reminder of what they would like to accomplish. Little did I know that this public art installation would take on a mind of its own. So it turned into a competition between the classes of who could build the biggest crane. And eventually, we had a class work together collaboratively and create an innovative way to have a 10 by 10 foot sheet of paper to sculpt a crane. It was so impressive that it got hung next to its smaller competitors. And it didn't stop there. Their innovation also inspired Charlotte as it was installed in the Skywalk Museum in Charlotte, North Carolina. So how did this happen? Innovative art creates innovative people. Innovative projects breeds creativity, especially when you have a constant reminder of things that spark your creations. There's a reason why companies such as Facebook and Adobe and I can do this, such as Facebook, Adobe, and Google invest billions of dollars into creative workspaces. And this is because creative workspaces boost innovation, collaboration, and productivity in employees. So at the end, the students ended up having to solve a problem that they created themselves. This, by definition, is a sheer example of ingenuity. I would like to access some of your prior knowledge by playing a game of Guess Who. On the count of 3, By a show of hands, I'm going to show 3 artifacts. And if you can identify any of these, I need you to raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Dang, okay. So most, if not all of us, have our hand raised. This is an example of art in community spaces. So we have the Statue of Liberty in New York, the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, and the Eiffel Tower of France. I'm also willing to bet that before I read that to you, you already knew where at least one of these artifacts were located. And that is because art has a significant impact in creating identity linked with locations. So I would also like to demonstrate with you or share with you some of the art that I have created myself, sparking creativity in communities. This may seem like a blank wall to you, but to me, it breathes creativity. These blank walls are generally an artist's playground. I was commissioned by Care in Action to create a series of murals around the Carolinas in order to spark art in communities by empowering women of color. So by the end of this mural, it sparked it so much that it was featured on the news. I constantly have community members sending me pictures and telling me how just having that spark of art has changed their commute to work or even walking down the street. Another element that I added to this mural was creating an interactive wall where students walk through to go to school. They can now play tic-tac-toe, learn about historical figures, as well as draw with chalk. On the branches of this mural, there are the names of domestic workers in the community, therefore honoring them and giving them a place. So, public art is generally art that is designed with you in mind. Our next mural location is in North Charleston. This neighborhood was very interesting. Where you see it now, it's generally used as either a parking lot or where people cut through the neighborhoods. It was kind of littered with debris and could definitely use some tender love and care. So my first mission was to order a boom lift and get started. May seem like a simple task, but that also took on a world of its own. As soon as the boom lift arrived, I had males in the community tell me that I can't work it, I can't operate it, I can't drive it. I was like, what in the 1920s? Where am I right now? So the boom operator left, and I immediately got to work. Of course, an hour later, it broke down. So once it broke down, he came back, and a man came up to us and said, the reason that it broke is because I broke it. The operator told him there was a short in the pedal, and therefore it was not my fault. I was very appreciative of that. I will say, after it got working, the calls kind of didn't stop. I had a friend come, and somebody said to them, hey, look, there's a woman up there. And I was just like, this is a sample of what I've been getting all week. I couldn't help but think, if I had this many people tell me that I cannot do something because I am a woman, I can imagine how many girls in that same community were told that they cannot do something. And it really sparked my heart. Because then I also had to ask myself, did they believe them? So this mural became very personal to me, as it was very important to show female representation, as well as showcasing powerful women that changed not only Charleston, but the world. My favorite part of this mural was inspiring little girls that walked by, and I would just hope that they would look at me as a site of inspiration and let them know that they are capable of anything. It did not only inspire little girls, but also boys and women and men, as it became very quickly a community gathering spot of positivity and light. Via the completion of this mural, it is now known for having photo shoots, video shoots. The local news station has done stories on it. It is a spot for campaigns to visit. A group of women from Columbia, South Carolina, even drove all the way to Charleston to see this mural and learn about the women. Once an empty, desolate place now breathes life because of art. So I named this mural the Wave of Change, and there have definitely been waves of change in the neighborhood. Ever since this mural was completed, the building was purchased by an art lover, Ed Sutton, as well as a real estate investor. He contacted me directly and told me that the reason that he bought this building was because of the mural. He shared with me a vision of implementing other murals throughout the neighborhood, and it definitely sparked a love of art in the community. So if you see from 2021, 2023, that one act of kindness and one spark of art can change and add a bright light to the neighborhood. So what am I working on now? Currently, I'm working with University City Partners to install a set of books on Barton Creek Greenway. Our goal is to activate the Barton Creek Greenway through art. The goal of these books is to encourage children to read and recycle. Art plants seeds that grow, but the only way that we can grow these seeds is to plant them. So, next time you kind of look at public art, think about its cultural responsibility to developing identity, the way that it attracts consumers, and maybe things that sparked your heart. In conclusion, I have one more thing to share with you. As a professional artist since the age of 3, I can attest that I was born with a mission in me, to help light up public spaces and bring life through art, from pictures of Barney, where I got my start. For most visionaries, our minds is an escape. Think about it like a playground where our creativity plays. We provide unique perspectives as we curate landscapes. We look at the ordinary and envision spaces in a brand new way. Think of it, a place that you may have ignored now offers new opportunities for communities to explore. Public art is a necessity in building community, cultivating culture and connections while using ingenuity, inspiring creativity and creating spaces you may want to see. It's a driving force in developing identity. It boosts growth of the economy. There's magic in this art, and I hope that when you are in an environment that provides a spark of conversation, connection, creativity, and community, it serves as a space that inspires you and invokes a sense of unity. A place to take your kids or for your parents to visit, to have lunch with your friends or go to a solo date at a public exhibit. You remember the memories that that space provided. Hopefully you took selfies or a mental note of just why it got you so excited. Maybe it was just looking at something out of the norm. Once a blank wall, you saw an artist transform. As a humble informant of this topic, I hope I've earned your endorsement. And by now, you yourself can answer the question, why is art in community spaces just so important? So this is something I've dreamt of saying, and manifesting moments like this is part of my why. I am so grateful for this platform. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Goodbye.